Hey guys, Brad Danger here, and I've been modifying my car for 20 plus years now, and here are the 5 mods that will absolutely cook your resale value. I mean, you ever notice how modifying a car feels like self-expression until it's time to sell and suddenly it's evidence in a court case? Because in your head, mods are taste. In a buyer's head, mods are what happened when nobody was looking. And dealers look at mods the way a landlord looks at a homemade hot tub on a balcony. They don't see creativity, they see a liability. And it isn't just vibes. The big boring truth is that most mods don't raise your resale value the way that people think they do. And a lot of them actively shrink the pool of buyers who will even consider your car in the first place. That's why places like CarMax straight up tell you that modifications often don't translate into higher offers. And if the car is heavily modified, it may sell better privately to a niche buyer, not a normal retail unit. So let's do it. 5 of the most common mods that people do that tank their value on basically any car. And yes, there are exceptions. If you built something legendary and the right buyer shows up at the right time, well, congratulations, you found the unicorn. But most of the time, these are the mods that turn your tasteful build into, please stop calling me about this car. Starting with number 5, the stance package, lowering, lifting, extreme camber, cheap coilovers, spacers, aggressive alignment. This is the gateway drug. It starts innocent. You're like, I just want it to sit right. 2 weeks later, your car looks like it's permanently bracing for impact. Here's why this tanks value. It changes the buyer's mental picture of the car's entire life. A normal buyer sees a stock car and thinks a commute, errands, probably maintained. A stanced car makes them think speed bumps are a war crime, and this thing has been introduced to every pothole in North America. Personally. And it's not even that lowering or lifting is automatically bad. The problem is what buyers assume comes with it. They assume rubbing, they assume uneven tire wear, they assume bent suspension components, they assume the alignment was set by a guy named Kyle in a gravel driveway while holding a Monster Energy. Yo guys, quick pause because this is super important. The giveaway is live right now and we're giving away this fully built, dripping in carbon Supra, 4 months in the making. And guys, it is the Tuner Hero spec, plus a Shelby GT350 with an exhaust that sounds absolutely ridiculous. So, if you want to win, you've got a decision to make. Do you get the JDM Legend, or do you get the American Icon? And guys, for a limited time, every purchase that you make on the site, which is pinned in the first comment down below, you get 2,000 bonus entries to win one of these cars, plus bonus cash, hat, shirt, entry pack, it don't matter. That's 2,000 extra chances on top. And Rocky from New York grabbed a quick entry pack last time and walked away with a GTR plus bonus cash. So yeah, it definitely happens. And we're running it back with 2 cars. So which one you picking? Let me know in the comments down below and go get entered as well. And good skill. And dealers hate it because they can't easily warranty it, can't easily certify it, and can't easily sell it to a normal person who just wants a car that doesn't do weird stuff at highway speed. This is the buyer pool shrinker. You can have the cleanest install on earth, but the second the ride height looks modified, a chunk of shoppers bounce. If you want to do suspension stuff and not torch resale, the best move is boring. Keep the stock parts, keep it reversible, and don't go extreme. CarMax literally recommends keeping original parts because buyers often value stock condition and having the original equipment helps when you sell. Number 4, cosmetic identity swaps, wraps, loud graphics, non-factory paint colors, body kits, shaved badges, aftermarket lighting that looks like a gaming PC. Cosmetic mods are hilarious because they're the most "it's my car, I'll do what I want" mods. And then you list it for sale and discover you accidentally made your car a niche product. Here's the thing, a stock color is a universal language. It says normal. A loud wrap says, what am I hiding? Even if you're hiding nothing, buyers get suspicious because cosmetics can cover stories. Paintwork, mismatched panels, fading clear coat, weird repairs. Even if your wrap is perfect, the buyer still has to wonder. And dealers are extra allergic because they don't want the argument. They don't want the customer who comes back furious because the wrap is peeling or the paint under it looks different on the bumper. This is also where cheap is fatal. Cheap body kits, cheap paint work, cheap tint, cheap aftermarket lights. Buyers read that as this car had an era, and you can't price above that era. The value killer isn't custom, it's hard to trust. Experience insurance / modification guidance hits this theme. Once you change the vehicle from factory spec, it changes the risk profile and the buyer's confidence, which can ripple into insurability and resale appeal. If you want to personalize without turning off the market, the safe play is subtle and reversible, clean paint protection film, quality tint that's legal, OEM plus cosmetics, stuff that doesn't scream I had ideas. 3. Interior mods that mess with safety and wiring, aftermarket steering wheels, seat deletes, questionable audio installs, hacked harnesses, screens everywhere, removed airbags, roll cages in street cars. This one is brutal because the interior is where buyers decide if the car feels loved or survived. And nothing says survived like a car with a steering wheel from a different universe, a check engine light's best friend, the mystery wiring, a trunk that looks like a science fair volcano because somebody went full subwoofer. Here's why it kills value. First, safety. If you remove airbags, mess with seats, or install anything that makes the buyer wonder, will this thing protect me? You just lost all normal buyers. Normal buyers don't want to be automotive test dummies. Second, wiring is trust. Buyers know wiring problems are the kind of problem you can't fully diagnose in a quick test drive. Electrical gremlins are where wallets go to die. Third, insurance. A lot of people don't realize standard auto insurance can be weird about aftermarket parts. You may need specific coverage for custom equipment, and some policies have limits unless you add an endorsement. Progressive, for example, talks about custom parts and equipment coverage and how it's handled separately from the base policy. So when a buyer sees a heavily modified interior, they're thinking, am I about to inherit an insurance headache in an electrical mystery novel? And they will price that risk into the offer. Number 2, engine and power mods that leave fingerprints, tunes, boost, fueling changes, stage packages, piggybacks, big intakes, downpipes, anything that makes the engine bay look like a smoothie blender. This is where people get emotional because power mods are fun, but resale value is not about fun. Resale value is about how calm a buyer feels while holding their wallet. And power mods make buyers nervous for 3 reasons. 1, reliability. Even if the car is perfectly tuned, buyers assume the car was driven harder. That's not always fair, but it's absolutely what happens. 2, warranty drama. Here's the important nuance. Manufacturers generally can't just blanket void your entire warranty because you used aftermarket parts. The FTC has been very clear about tie-in sales style warranty restrictions and the basic principle that warranty coverage can't be conditioned on using only branded parts. But, and this is the part everyone conveniently ignores, a manufacturer can still deny a specific warranty claim if they determine your modification caused the failure. So buyers think, if something goes wrong, am I about to have a warranty fight? 3, emissions and legality risk. Not every tune is illegal. Not every mod fails emissions, but the average buyer doesn't want to research what's compliant in their county. They want to pass inspection and move on with their life. Which brings me to number 1. Number 1, emissions deletes and off-road only exhaust setups, cat deletes, DPF deletes, EGR deletes, straight pipes that trip codes, anything that makes the car inspection hostile. This is the undefeated champion of resale destruction because it can turn your car from vehicle into problem. If your mod makes the car hard to register, hard to inspect, or risky to drive legally on public roads, you just eliminated a massive chunk of buyers. Dealers especially don't want it because they don't want compliance liability sitting on their lot. And it's not just the man doesn't like fun. The EPA treats emissions tampering as a real enforcement category. Their own materials spell out that tampering with emissions controls and using defeat devices is illegal under the Clean Air Act, and enforcement actions have been a thing, especially around delete kits and modified diesels. Translation, you might love the sound, but the market hates paperwork. Even if the car technically runs fine, the buyer is now thinking, will this pass inspection where I live? Will I have to spend money to return it to stock? Will I get flagged fail or have to find a guy? And a dealer's thinking, nope, next. So that is the list. Suspension extremes that scream, it's been through it. Cosmetic identity swaps that shrink your buyer pool. Interior mods that introduce safety and wiring fear. Power mods that trigger reliability, warranty, and compliance anxiety. And emission hostile exhaust setups that can turn a sale into a legal headache. So if you want to mod and still protect your value, the best advice is painfully unsexy. Do reversible mods, keep every stock part, document everything, and mod it in a way that makes the next owner think, nice, not, oh no. Because the moment that your car stops being easy to buy, it becomes, well, hard to sell. And remember to go to winthisIdealcar.com to get entered to win your dream car plus cash, and you can modify that thing any way you want because, well, you can win it. Also, like, subscribe, turn on that notification bell, and check out some of these Ideal vids over here. I'm Brad Danger. This is Ideal. We'll catch you next weekend. Promise me one thing. Keep living the ideal lifestyle.